yet to live through a world war. And yet this pandemic has stolen so many lives, as if by random, and robbed us of our chance to be with or even see the dying. Just like that, no visiting of the sick, no wakes, no public funerals. Do you know how it is to feel the passing of a loved one only via a messenger call? I did yesterday as I was preparing for this talk. The caregiver of my dear friend pressed the call to me in panic. And even if the caregiver couldn't talk, I could overhear the commotion at the nurse's station. I didn't need to get a second call from the caregiver to confirm what I already felt. My close friend Louis Cruz, he of the off-the-shoulder fame, is gone. 4 hours before I could even try to visit him in the hospital. But then it turned out no visitors would have been allowed into ICU anyway. Louis, who defined the Manila night scene and lifestyle, lost a 2-year battle against cancer. Ironically, he would tell me repeatedly, even if he didn't think that he was dying. What's so sad about this pandemic is that people die alone. Nobody to hold your hand, he said. Or when people die, you say goodbye only on Facebook. He told me that last week. Well, this pandemic robbed us of so much. It forcibly gave us time to pause, stop in our fast-moving tracks, to look behind us and see our past, or to ponder the present. That's all we can do because we now know that we don't have full control of the future. Limited control, yes, but we derive strength from the good, happy things of the past, even learnings from it. That's because we have time and have been forced to pause and realize the things that matter to us and the people whose presence we are grateful for. In decluttering our home in this lockdown, we unearthed so many things, many of them stuff that put a smile on our face, like this photo of the reunion of our high school class 1969. I think this was taken in the mid-90s. Can you put the photo of the reunion, please? Is it there?
Yes, Ma'am Thelms, we can see.
A few of them are now gone, but what comes to mind when I see this photo was how these girls, now women, have been there for each other all these decades to this day. They were around to rush a classmate to the hospital when she suddenly collapsed while they were doing lunch, and with her family continued to look in on her in her coma. They were around to help arrange the wake of a classmate's husband. Our class Viber is on 24/7 thanks to the various time zones we're on. For the past month or so, a few of these women, one or two of them in the US, do an adult ballet class called Rediscovering Grace under the ballerina of our class, noted ballet teacher, Malen Claraval. Can we play her video? Finish na?
Ay, ma'am. Let's see.
Is it playing?
Not yet. There, we can see you.
So is it playing na?
Not yet, not yet.
My video is disabled. I don't know why. I keep on clicking and
The video is here, and we also can see you.
cue me in, Nico, if it's finished.
Okay, ma'am.
So perhaps you can check if the host disabled my video.
Okay, video is done. She's very graceful, Miss Thelma.
So you see,
Yeah, the video is over. Yeah.
yeah, and can you see a zoom of our class? Anyway, can I talk now?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
They do that every Tuesday. You're invited to join, and in that Zoom, be prepared to hear them talk about aching joints and muscles. And they're threatening to do a ballet class, the recital this Christmas. So how do we save Christmas or navigate the new world? By saving old friendships, keeping the ties that bind, continue to nurture a bond, even if it's not easy. That's one. I have three friends. I invited three friends here to share how life has changed for them and their work and how they navigate towards an untested world. Mr. Stephen Tan, who heads SM Supermalls, Dr. Vicky Bello, whose name has become synonymous with the Filipino men and women's beauty aspiration, and Miss Margie Moran Florendo, our 1973 Miss Universe, a Theresian herself, the beauty queen who's put her fame to admirable use by being a hardworking advocate of culture and empowered womanhood. Perhaps you can play the video as I try to fix what's going on with my video. Thank you. So can you start the video, please?
Yes, we will. And we can see you now.
Can't see anything. I have to log
Uh,
in.
yeah, it's okay. We can see you and we can hear you very clear. And we are now setting up the video of our first guest, Stephen Tan.
I hope the host didn't uh my video.
You're still on. We can see you. And we're setting up the video of Stephen Tan. We don't have video yet.
Oh no, I don't have. Perhaps the host can check if he's manipulated anything like the audio and the video. And you just run on one after the other the video clips of Margie, Steven, and Vicky.
All
But
right.
while I will try to fix my stuff alone.
Okay.
Excuse me, can we ask everyone to put yourselves on mute because we can hear some noise in the background, like somebody talking in the background. Thank you.
While waiting for the video, Miss Thelma, can you kindly share with us how you invited Margie Moran and Stephen Tan and Vicky Bello? We're so fortunate that they agreed to be with us and share their views. Mhm. Okay, we have Stephen. Stephen Tan is the president of SM Malls.
No volume.
Mm. No volume. We still have no volume.
Yeah, no audio.
Yes, we already
Audio,
told
sorry,
ano,
no audio.
We already informed last that there's no audio. And we're very sorry for the technical difficulties we're having right now. It's actually the first time that this also happened to us. Now that we have 75 participants,
Yeah, Miss Thelma, are you still there? We now can't see you.
we're just fixing the audio for the videos.
Okay. Mm-mm.
Can't figure out why the audio is not
Mm-mm. All right. While waiting for the video to be set, we will be interested to know any insights about how you are preparing for the Christmas season. Please type in your comments, your insight at the chat box, and I will be reading them. So if you have questions for Ms. Thelma San Juan, kindly put them at the chat box. We have 75
To all
participants.
Parisians, my name is Stephen Tan, President of SM Supermalls. Miss Thelma San Juan, a good friend of mine, asked me to talk about our challenges, difficulties, and how we were able to rise above it. So here it goes. When the lockdown was first announced, my thoughts immediately went to the people. First, the men and women employed by SM Supermalls. Then, all the security and janitorial people employed by the agencies we work with, wondering if they would still have a job and be able to support their loved ones. Next, to our 20,000 tenant partners, their employees, suppliers, and contractors, wondering if they would survive this. Finally, all the barangays and cities who rely on SM Supermalls for essential goods and services, wondering what's happening now. On the third day of the lockdown, our chairman, Mr. Hans C., told us something that stuck with me since we are in an uncharted territory. We must be united in the spirit of service. Simple words, yet so true. Inspired by these words, I decided early on that service would be our mission amidst the pandemic and the new normal. The first thing we did was to take care of our people. We gave our employees their full salaries, and frontliners were given financial assistance. We gave all 20,000 of our tenant partners rental relief during the time they were closed for business so that they could focus on taking care of their own employees. For communities, we donated over 400 million worth of hospital supplies such as ventilators, testing kits, face masks, shields, and PPEs to over 100 hospitals across the country. We also packed and distributed over 100,000 bags of relief goods to those who needed it most. We have also been helping unemployed Filipinos find work through our SM Riders program, which is employing them as personal shoppers for customers who don't want to leave their homes for safety reasons. With the pandemic still ongoing, we still have much work to do to help people and communities to get back on their feet. Today, we are trying to restart the economy. We are helping SMEs and local entrepreneurs restart their business. We are also helping our employees adjust to new normal. Online health apps, online training sessions, mental health checks, and counseling. Today, we are also in the middle of rapid digital transformation. The pandemic has accelerated Filipinos' adoption of online shopping and digital payments, and this is changing their expectations from retailers and shopping centers. Because of this, we are fast tracking the development and improvement of our omni-channel programs so that our customers can easily access SM malls and the stores inside, on ground and online. Early in the pandemic, we created personal shopper services, drive-through and pick up and delivery services. A few weeks ago, we launched our virtual mall app, SM Malls Online, which allows customers to browse and buy from SM Mall stores as they would go on the ground. What COVID has taught us is that we are all interconnected. When I'm asked why we are doing all we are doing for our teams, our customers, tenant partners, and the public, my answer has always been we are simply people helping people. We like to think of SM as a family where no one gets left behind. People helping people has always been in the DNA of SM. From the time it was first founded up to this pandemic and beyond. No one knows what the future holds, but the one thing I believe strongly in that we all need to come together and help one another. People helping people. That is what the new normal should be about. Thank you.
Hi, Theresians all over the world. I hope you are safe and taking good care of yourselves. Thank you, Ms. Thelma San Juan, for inviting me to talk about self-care. What is self-care? It's basically anything that you do for yourself that makes you feel better about yourself. And we have a responsibility in these very trying times to take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And although you might think that beauty is only skin deep, there definitely is a very important connection. We're a whole being, and when we take care of the way we look, we are really taking care also for mental and psychological and emotional health. In a Cantor study that was just published around April this year, they asked a lot of people what was the first thing that you would do after ECQ in the Philippines. And I was so happy and surprised to find out that the number one thing that people would do after ECQ was to have beauty treatments. And it was more than double the number two, which is to visit friends and family. This just means that people really want to take care of themselves. The very act of taking care of yourself is soothing and comforting. And of course, when you want to visit friends and family, you want to look good. You know, the mere act of passing a mirror and looking at yourself and liking what you see is extremely uplifting. And that's what people want. So what happened in Bella Medical Group? Interestingly, the moment they opened their doors, there was such a clamor for people to come for their treatments. In Bella, we decided that our safety first was going to be our most important thing. So we spent so much money on PPEs, the best air purifier, which is IntelliPure. We had steaming, smoking stuff. Between patients, we did a 30-minute break just to make sure that we had enough time to disinfect the room, clean all the linens, wash everything. Every time anyone would go to our toilet, we would clean right after them and put alcohol everywhere. We decided that we would let them spend less time in the clinic. So we already talked to them either through telemedicine or consults or asking them through questions everything that they needed to fill up usually during their visit to the clinic. Going to the Bello Medical Group is very different from before. First of all, we don't accept walk-ins. You have to go there by appointment. You don't spend any time in the waiting room, although all our couches and all the chairs are wrapped up in saran wrap. So if anybody should sit there, we do change it. We have no more brochures. We have no more fresh flowers. We don't serve coffee. We don't give cookies anymore. Instead, we have spent so much on safety. There are shields in between you and the doctor when you do the laser. Also with facials, it's also the same way. You gargle mouthwash because the mouth is a very bad place where COVID-19 can survive. The patients, once they're inside the treatment room, are free to not wear a mask. But of course, our doctors and all our employees are covered in PPE, shield, and mask. And our IntelliPure system kills all bacteria and viruses, no matter how big or how small, in 10 seconds. We have air scavengers for our lasers. Anyway, I can't tell you how many safety procedures we have. What's the importance of looking good? If you want self-care for yourself, it really uplifts your mood. Having a skin routine or any kind of routine every day actually stops you from getting depressed and going down the worry spiral. They've shown in studies that if you are careful, that if you do things every day in your routine way, it normalizes your life. And we need normalcy in this time. It also stops you from ruminating and chewing on what's going to happen, on what happened, where are we going. All these things, of course, you should just pray. As Jesus says, don't be anxious but about anything, but in prayer, thanksgiving, and supplication raise everything to the Lord. Anyway, I really feel that people are so concerned about their skin. They've gotten a lot of maskne because of wearing masks and the bacteria and the rubbing of the skin. So that's our number one thing. Also, a lot of people have gained weight, the ECQ weight gain, the ECQ 15 to 30 pounds. So liposuction is a very popular procedure right now. And everybody's having surgery done because they're all at home anyway and they cover their face with a mask. So rhinoplasty has been very popular as well as blepharoplasty. So if you want to do cosmetic surgery, you wanted to do this all your life, this is the time to do it. And I hope you guys stay safe. God bless everyone. Take care.
Proceed. Hi, I'm Marge Moran Florendo. I'm class high school 72. And I'd like to greet all of my fellow alumni and those who are listening to us today. I'd like to say that how I'm dealing with the pandemic. First of all, it's about priorities. I've realized that when you can't go out, when there's nowhere to go, it's material things are no longer important to me, and that you can go on living with little and be simple in life, because what really matters is important. And to me, what really matters is my relationship with my family, my true friends, my real friends, and the people that I've worked with. And I am in the arts and culture industry, and it is the most affected industry. It is the number one number of unemployment are artists, and we were trying to figure out for months how to help them, because we do have a responsibility, and especially me, because I've worked with artists, and so now we're figuring out ways for how they can perform. Especially dancers. Dancers cannot take a second job because they only can dance. They dance 10 to 12 hours a day. And they dance with space. They need the space to dance to be called a dancer. And unfortunately, they are just exercising in their homes. They do not have the space to do their pirouettes, to do their jumps. So we're starting to do a program at the Cultural Center of the Philippines, where I'm chairing the board of trustees, and we're doing programs for innovation and programs to where artists can be funded and paid at least part of their salaries for them to be able to live. What we did was some dancers who were displaced, we were able to raise funds for them to pay part of their salaries as allowances. We found homes for them to stay because they couldn't pay their rentals, and they were still performing through the arts program at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. So we are responsible as leaders. We have a responsibility to help people that are who have had a career in the arts, to help them out in being able to live with but however we can help them.
Okay, thank you, Marge.
Thank you, Vicky, Margie, and Steven. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you, Miss Thelma.
Each of them puts it aptly and differently, but the message is the same. We go back to the basic values of family and looking out for each other, of loving and looking after oneself, and of turning to a higher being. Unlike before when we felt immune or invincible, today we face each morning with uncertainty. Fashion director Jackie Aquino speaks for many when he says, "Up to now, I don't have an answer except wake up each day and hope for the best." Marketing expert Pen Rocket told us, and I quote him, "Some call it the real normal. We adjust by realizing that going through this is not all smooth and easy, but sometimes unpredictable and bumpy. But we respond to the reality knowing that this is all temporary and learn how to relive life with families, friends, colleagues, knowing we're not alone." Entrepreneur Marco Protasio resorts to routine to navigate the day-to-day. "I find that sticking to a routine," he says, "and being kind to myself keeps me sane. I am already allowing some semblance of normalcy back into my life, like meeting friends and going to work. More importantly, being kind to others prevents me from feeling jaded about this crisis because I believe that our emotional well-being is just as important as our physical health. It's extremely difficult to adjust to a situation where the new normal is indefinite. Therefore, we have no choice but to remain hopeful and prayerful." And he adds, "I really hope that this new normal will make the world a better place. I am forcing myself to accept that the old normal will not come back." Indeed, I don't think, and I agree with Marco, that life as we knew it will be back next year or the year after. But I believe that Filipinos are racing to mark, if not celebrate, Christmas. Even if we do this wearing a mask, social distancing, and do a reunion in Zoom. Actually, this mask hides my double chin. Christmas, the traffic is back. Restaurants, while not crowding, at least are seeing diners. Malls are still not crowded, but they have people. In short, people are dying. No, I mean living to reclaim their old lives. Retail spending, especially on home stuff, is kicking up. Yet I believe that when it comes to lifestyle, there will be less emphasis on style and pretentious forms and more on living, in trying to survive. Health is now our priority and one's well-being. It will take a long time in the future before we take off our face mask, actually. So we better accept that. Consumers expect themselves and the brands they patronize to be sensitive to the trauma the human race is going through. So brands must be relevant and draw empathy. People will continue to set their priorities, spending on what are essentials and focusing on what and who is essential in their lives. And the essentials, apart from our basic needs, are our time-honored values. On top of the other freedoms the Filipino is fighting for, like press freedom, we now have to fight for freedom from hunger. Not even during our activism days in the 70s did we see so many people worry about where to get the next meal. After a lockdown economy and with unemployment unprecedented high, people, especially the young ones, have lost their jobs or are working for less. You wonder what opportunities for growth or quality of life await our children and the new graduates. You wonder what quality of learning and graduates and online learning will produce. The pandemic proved that we sink or swim as one, like it or not. We can navigate ourselves to a new world only with the right sense of values. I am not exaggerating if I say that it is the values I got at St. Teresa's, the rigor of its academics, the love of hard work, the moral uprightness, and the spirituality that seeped into our DNA. These values were what saw me through a cutthroat career and an environment that could be corrupting and almost godless. For instance, I witnessed Teresian Leti Magsanok and her fight for democracy, how her moral integrity and strength, no doubt her Teresian upbringing had a part in it. We can all have the technocrats' policies in place, but without a moral compass, they remain just that, a blueprint. While this pandemic enforced our love of family, it must also come with a love of community and country. The Filipinos are by nature kind and compassionate, and nowhere has this been more evident than in this pandemic when we bought each other's home goods, when those who have a little more gave to those who have nothing. But the pandemic also drove home the truth that bad governance could kill. So perhaps let's restore the value of learning and informed critical thinking so that we don't make dumb decisions and choices, so that we know when fake news is fake news and call it out, and so that we don't stay quiet when our voice must be heard. Our resilience must come from informed thinking. The ultimate path that takes us to a new world must be that of faith. Faith in God, faith in a being higher than ourselves. This is what could save us from the despair and greed of the present. Faith, prayer is what gives us hope and strength for the future. We've never started to pray the rosary daily as we do now, but faith is also joy. It is our faith in Jesus that will give us the joy of Christmas. And that's how we save Christmas, as my friend Tita Virgie Ramos told me yesterday. The BTS, and who doesn't know today's most popular young men, and there are fans among the Teresians, say in their new song, Life Goes On. The title is Life Goes On, and the lyrics go, like an echo on the forest, the day will come back around. As if nothing happened, life goes on. Like an arrow in the blue sky. Another day flying by on my pillow, on my table. Life goes on. Let's say, keep the faith and let's save Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thelma San Juan. We are very
We
enlightened
have a,
by your
sorry, we have a video.
sharing. We have one more video.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
No live video. We're gonna play it again. Sorry again for the technical difficulty there.
Like an echo in the forest, and a battle I'll get you. I'm a window of the shade. Yeah, life goes on like an arrow in the blue sky. Don't hide down, gotta get you. On the pillow, on the table. Yeah, life goes on like this again.
Thank you. So life goes on, no, amidst all these challenges, and we are still preparing for our, I don't know, our get together using technology, uh, through Zoom, through other means of technology applications. And we have here some sharings through the chat box. Like, for example, Val would see her family preparing their dish, no, per sibling, and then they prepare it at home, and they will eat on Christmas Eve. Specific cochinillo, stuffed chicken, potato salad, but they will not be, of course, seeing each other. The same with Elsa. On her mom's side, they decided that they will still push through with the annual reunion, but through Zoom. So they will be having their relatives abroad joining in. And it's a good opportunity for them to bond. In fact, she said that they have decided to even pool funds together as family to help those who were affected by the recent typhoons. Thank you for sharing that. I'll go back to you, Ms. Thelma. Uh, how are you now preparing for the Christmas holidays, knowing all these things are happening, and you still see, as you shared, that it's really very important to keep family, our traditions as Filipinos?
Well, personally, you just have to continue being a ninja mom over my sons, because it's their generation that is also being affected by the joblessness and all that. And you know, you're glad that you watch them um, cope with the corporate world, but at the same time I feel good when we were supposed to donate something yesterday, and I learned that they already donated to the typhoon victims ahead of me. So I was even the one late in the family. So you know, it's really the values that will, I really believe it's really the values that will see us through. And I think one thing that Saint Teresa's taught me is the hierarchy, following a hierarchy and following rigid discipline, because you see, we need rituals in our lives. And one thing I'm happy about is that I got my children, raised them up to go to mass. It's a ritual that they look forward to, and rituals based on faith, I think, are what will keep us grounded in this pandemic. Again, like when the churches started to open, I told them that, you know, I'm going to the church, and only for me to find out that, because they're younger, of course, they have been going themselves ahead of me. So, you know, we need rituals to introduce our children to the rituals. And I think Christmas is a ritual, but at the same time, I think Christmas this year will need, beyond the ritual, I think it will need the feeling of joy that faith could bring. And you could only be happy also if the others around you are happy. So, you know, we really have to help people somehow. That's it.
Yes, rituals. We tend to pass it on, and we our children, they're very lucky also that they get to experience in their own way what we have experienced when we were much younger. I have an interesting question here from Babes Guevara. She says, "How are you, Thelma?" And she's concerned. No, how do we prepare ourselves? Especially some of us are in the pre-departure area. Thelma, she's asking, what's your advice? How do we prepare for inevitable time like this?
Hi, babes. What do you mean inevitable? You mean like death, I suppose? Well, I just lost a friend, like I told you yesterday. And up to the end, I don't think he was hoping that he could still uh, last till Christmas and beyond that. I think we just have to be grateful I think that's to have a grateful heart and you end the day thanking in prayer. I think that's how you prepare. I mean, other things are details, other things are non essentials, but to have a grateful heart, I think is the best thing you can have in your senior years, or even if you're young. I mean, this pandemic told us that mortality is, like it or not, it's not a choice. It is something, we all are mortal. So just be grateful. And I think also we should know right from wrong. Life is simple. Even governance could be simple because it's right and wrong. There are no ifs and buts about it. So if you know and accept what is right, and that's how you live, then life becomes simple and not as stressful. That's what I think.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
have a comment here from Tip Tip Bantike. Uh, Christmas 2020 is special, less attention on buying gifts, preparing our homes for carolers. Our family is now focused on having intimate celebration with our adult children, their families, yummy cooked meals, and creating fun games for our three apos and our kasambahays. Yeah, we can still celebrate it with our nuclear family. We're fortunate. Some of us are fortunate. No, we can still gather them around, no matter how simple. No, having a grateful heart, says Elsa Unson, we need to celebrate all our blessings, whether these be big or small. It puts us in the right frame of mind. Just what you have mentioned, Thelma. These are very good insights from our participants. At this point, can you provide us any advice on how we can somehow um, expand ourselves, uh, looking less on what we have and what we can do for the immediate family? How do we see ourselves looking after society, seeing broader things? The way we have observed you sharing how you see things happening and how responsible we are to society.
I think this pandemic taught us two things we took for granted, or which the country in a way took for granted. And that is, number one is health. We never saw and realized how fragile, how our health system is, infrastructure is. And I think that was realized that was stressed even in the time of President Aquino. When he was able to control MERS-CoV, he realized how DOH so much had to be done. And so I think we took for granted health. Well, I already spoke about the values, right? But health as a infrastructure. And number two, another sector that I think is on autopilot or taken for granted by administration is education. That's why I think schools like St. Teresa's are very important, because um, we need critical thinkers. We need the young to start thinking, not only by being able to do clickbaits and have instant information on the internet, but they should be able to process ideas based on the past, on history, on books, and logic, which we had at St. Teresa's. I mean, we would have book reports every week. And then we had, for the rigid mind, we had math drills every morning, verbal, oral, which up to now, I still can't figure out how my classmates did it, answering mathematical questions verbally. So I was telling them that's how I learned how to lip sync, so that you could go with the class. But what I'm saying is, let's not reject rigidity. I'm speaking to the current students of St. Teresa's. You will need that rigid training when you start working, when you do the outside world. So I think education, we should be advocates of it so that our population will not be tempted to elect any Tom, Dick, and Harry. We will not be victims or very vulnerable to demagogues. We will know whether they are mouthing lies or historical facts. Education is really very important. The home can do only so much. And especially now that information is available in cyberspace, the more the classroom, I think, is important to be an anchor for correct thinking and an anchor that will give you the right heart for society. And I like to think that's the St. Teresa's that where I grew up in. You know, there is emphasis on intelligence, but also on integrity and principles. That is not just lip service. I mean, it can be done, I think. So I think that's the society we should try to build.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those important reminders. No? Health, education, we really have to look after these. And for our schoolmates, no, integrity, the way we learned it through the years, we still have them. And is there, we have a message from Yai. She received a message from a Theresian friend last week. I thought to just let you know I will not be buying gifts for family and friends and donate what I have set aside to groups helping typhoon victims and also to a group running trauma center helping the recovery of sexually abused children who had significantly risen this pandemic. I have you all on the top of my grateful list, grateful that I have you in my life all these years. No gifts does not mean I have forgotten. Yeah, your comment on this, Ms. Thelma?
You mean no gifts?
Yes.
Well,
And
that's something that you
Mhm.
cannot enforce or dictate on everyone. I think it depends on the what do what your heart says. You know, the kind of gifts that you want. Like for example, my friends, they gave me already um, a calendar of BTS because they're BTS fans and that makes them happy. You know, and then some I know will, let's say, offer mass. So I think, you know, just be honest. Life is simple. Just be honest to ourselves and not stress, you know. Gift giving should not be a source of stress. And I like to think that's the only good thing about this pandemic is that, you know, you although Christmas be there, but siguro it's not the same as before when it's mindless spending.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really important. Gift giving should not be a source of stress. We will remember that, Ms. Thelma. We are about to end our session this morning. We'd like to hear any final advice or insight that you want us to bring and live by.
Yeah, I think I've over talked already, and I like to thank you for giving me the chance to talk away. But you know, I think like what we learned from school, life is could be simple because it's just a matter of adhering to what is right and wrong. That is not being simplistic. That is being simple, and have faith and prayer. It really helps, especially if you have loved ones who were dying, like what happened to us this week. It 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 was the only thing we could do. And then I hope we are launching, me and some Teresian writers,
Mhm.
and we're launching our diaries.ph, a website which we put up with some writers first week of December. I hope you get to read our personal essays. And Merry Christmas, and you know, let's save Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's diaries.ph, no? Uh, Thank you for that. And my take here is I would like to remember what you mentioned about, you know, during this period where we're at home and we start decluttering our homes with with items, and we come across, we get to see things that make us smile, like an old photo, gifts from our loved ones, for some plaques of recognition. And more than these, I should say, we smile as we see our loved ones move about every day. Before, we hardly would see them because we were so busy. And during this pandemic, we are mostly home, and we accept it is for the best, no, as a new normal. And Christmas may be celebrated in a fashion we have never imagined before, and still it's worth celebrating, no matter how simple it is. With the wonderful talk of you, Miss Thelma, we are inspired that as long as we have faith, hope, and love in our hearts, Christmas is special, or any special event. It's still worth our preparation, worth our experience with our families, our loved ones, and of course, with technology at hand, we remain to be faithful still. That this too, just like any other challenging times, this will pass. Thank you so much. And
Luz,
for participants,
Luz, Ma'am Thelma is going to say something.
we would like to,
Can we
like to ask some people who would like to share their comments, insights at this point.
can we include the nuns at the Queen of Peace Convent? Can we include them in our prayer? But they're alone this Christmas. So the nuns in the Queen of Peace Convent.
I hope Sister Cora is here, and our other nuns at Queen of Peace. They've been helping a lot of our brethren. No? They provide food, pagkain sa araw-araw. They give whatever they have, and our schoolmates, no, we donate to help those who need food every day. So yeah, it's special, and we really have to pray for each other. Okay, Esperanza Diano is mentioning, can they also participate in diaries.ph, like contributing their own essays?
Of course, because so many Teresians are writing there. Starting with ko, Omay Olison. I have Teresians are writing for diaries. So you know, you just message us.
Yeah. Also from Lydia Echaos, she said she never met you, but she says you embody all Teresian values, and yes to rigorous education. She believes in that as well. And Zone said at the moment there's a Golden Jubilee celebration going on at Queen of Peace, by the way. So that's a happy news. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we're about to end. Let me just wrap up the second of our TereTalks series. We will have our third installment of our Navigating the New World series TereTalks webinar early next year. So stay tuned for our announcement. Now, allow me to greet you all an early Merry Christmas, and really, you know, stay safe, and thank you very much, and enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Luz, can you have a picture with Thelma?
Okay, so before we end, we will have a group photo. You can put your Zoom panel to gallery so that you get to see all the participants. So here I can see Babes, Yai, Thelma, Tita Chit, Nico, Maris, Marilu, Ces, Marianne, Elsa, Mercedes, Bien, Christina, Lulu Cinco, and Che. Hello, Che. We have 64. Earlier, we had about 75 max. Okay, so you can, anyone can take the photo as well per batch. So this first batch, I'll take a photo.
Can we have a wacky shot, Thelma?
Ready? 1, 2, smile. Okay, I'll change my panel to the next set.
Woohoo!
Okay, so we have Valkan, Linda, Emma, Jessica, Grace, Arit, Aji, hello Aji, Oli, hello, Zoni or Zone Ann, Ganda, Anita, Anilu, hello, Marisa. So I'll take a shot. Anyone can also take photo. Hello, Doc M. And then we have Pinky.
Oli,
Can you kindly turn on your?
turn on your
I
video,
can
JP, so we can take
take a
your
shot.
photo shot.
Turn on your
Okay,
videos,
copy naman.
please.
Let's do some walkie shots here.
Julie, especially peaceful Christmas, one and all. Thank you. Yeah.
Dr.
Okay, there.
Buse pala is sterilisan.
Hi, Tita Arit. Val, I can see you exercising.
As you said, you all have to do something for ourselves.
Hello to Christina Cinco.
Ipad.
Hello, Julie.
Hi, Emmy.
Thank you for joining. Vicky Cabrera, hello. Your photos beautiful. Can you open your video if it's possible? Sometimes it's a challenge to open your videos because of the network connection. Anyway, really, now we thank you, Miss Lydia Echaus. I can see you. Thank you very much for joining. Third week of January, we will have a special guest. We won't tell you yet, but expect the announcement by December. You will know who will our special guest for our TereTalks.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much, everyone.
Merry
Have a
Christmas,
special-
Thelma. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Miss Thelma San Juan.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Stay
Thank
safe.
you. Thank you, Thelma. Thank you. And Luz, Mercurio, thank you.
Thank you, Maris.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Excellent.
Thank you, Thelma. Thank you, Thelma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tapos na kami.